games, like their lanes were not that bad. And as soon as Spirits start rotating super hard, like, and being super active, especially on carry Weaver, like with 10-minute rotation, like kind of break the game apart for Gaimin Gladiators at that point. Maybe they should have not react to that at some point or ignore something and find a better like fight a bit later on, like so they don't lose the phase of the game. Yeah.
I think my theory so far of like what Team Spirit's trying to do looks true with these bans. Like, they don't want Dyrachyo to play CK, they don't want him to play Weaver. He has played other heroes like Alchemist, Razor, but those are much later picks. And if they are on the first pick, by the way, Gaming Gladiators, they chose first pick this game, so they wanted to change just the draft order up just a little bit here. And it's pretty clear, Toro's going to be like, I will take these away from you. These heroes, I don't play a lot of them, but I'll play them just as good as you, if not better, which is getting into your head for sure. But now you're in a situation where Dyrachyo, he's been playing a bunch of Weaver, a bunch of CK, and then later on the draft, this Alk gets banned. It has to be a perfect Razor game. I think Dyrachyo's hero has been very key for Gaming Gladiator's success here, and Team Spirit's really focusing it down.
This opening pick from Gaming Gladiators, we've seen quite a lot. It's been respect banned against them a ton of games in this tournament, but obviously at some point it will make its way through. This is not the first time they get to play it on the main stage, and you know, that's usually what happens when teams get all the way to the grand finals, is they just have so many good strategies that you pick your poison, right? And you see here Ace with a 3-1 scoreline on the Primal Beast, and you know, Spirit probably feeling pretty good about breaking his 0-loss streak on the Lone Druid. It was 4-0 before the last game. They took that one out. Now it's time to take out arguably maybe his second best hero of the tournament.
Yeah, I think that just speaks to the confidence of Team Spirit. I think last game they left the Pangolin in, they left the Lone Druid in. They will have something prepared for each of the heroes. Something to know is like, they've sort of been chilling for a bit, you know, to get to watch Gladiators play a lot of games. They're going to have the time to develop a counter strat for each one of these picks. I think what Fear said was right on the mark, like making sure that Dyrachyo doesn't play these aggressive carries and keeping off the Weaver and CK, it looks really good for him. So I think they'll continue to want to do the same line of thought, like just make sure that your Dyrachyo's game's a bit sort of slowed down.
Ooh. And this was definitely a change that they made in the draft. They decided to collapse Magnus. We'll let it through. They played it only one single time at this TI, and that was in their last series. And Collapse was an absolute madman in that series, doing what he was doing at TI10, just getting all the skewers in the world here. He didn't have the strongest early game, but I think if you do put this in the off lane, correct me if I'm wrong, probably not the strongest offlaner right now with the way he builds, but they played with a Shadow Demon last time. They just got a lot of stacks up, so maybe we can look for them to ban out the Shadow Demon so Mag doesn't have that recovery option.
Yeah, Shadow Demon is one of the best heroes to counter Primal builds. Primal Beast also, it's like it's countering him on all stages of the game. Like it doesn't let him get stacks, it's cancelling his ulti, you can hide him, when he gets BKB you hide your teammate. It's actually an amazing hero against this. I think it's probably one of the best support counters to Primal.
Is there anything else you think Gaimin are debating here that could be an even more important ban? Like, you know, the classic, if you haven't watched Dota for a bit, you're like, oh, Magnus, now there's going to be an Empower carry. Is there anything that is a really strong Empower carry that's also good against Primal? No, it's going to be the Shadow Demon, so right on point there. What are you thinking for Spirit here? Are you saving your Tauros hero until the very end, or is there something valuable you could grab now against the Primal? And on top of that, do you expect this to go offlane even? Quinn has played Primal as well.
I would probably think they want to wait just because there is that potential of the flex. I think when you play with Magnus, you actually don't need to think about the Empower too much. For example, if you play some PA with Magnus, usually you actually still buy the Battle Fury, just because there's just a lot of camps. You don't want to make one of your other cores run to another core in order just to empower you. I think right now they should think that they've given them a Primal Beast. Right now they need something that does enough damage to kill it. I think probably, do you know if AA was banned last game, or is it just unpicked unbanned? I think that's sort of rare for this tournament, honestly. I think it was picked and banned pretty much first phase in like most of the other games I've seen. I think they could look at something like AA. You see Phoenix is already out, and the Shadow Demon's out, so I think they want to make sure that they get a support who can deal with this Primal.
A looks pretty interesting, like, but it's also need a good partner on lane because it's not the strongest laner, I guess, on easy lane. But Miposhka plays it very, very good, like on next level.
Dyer's turn to pick.
Enchantress.
That's a 5 that is strong in lane, I've heard.
We're gonna do a cringy mid.
We're gonna cringe the mid this one with Enchantress for sure. This is one of Makosha's like signature heroes. He's really good at this, and I think when you do play a hero like Magnus, who will take a little more time, might be a little bit slower, having that early game pressure can help a lot. And we'll have to see, like, I believe Varl probably still can play the Magnus if they want to go that route, but normally when you do see it on Spirit, you'll have to automatically think Collapse. But will Gaimin also automatically think Collapse as well, or are they going to respect it and think that it could be a potential mid laner?
Yeah, I think Enchantress is also one of the supports that eventually you're actually the one who can kill the tanky heroes. In the post where he pretty much always plays for the hurt.
that game so fast.
And this time they're going to take the late game and the scale, right? Void
Nobody
Magnus. This is a lineup that is
Nobody
very happy to go into that late game. And particularly when you have Yatoro in the reins of the Spaces Void, it is a fearsome beast. This is a strat that goes all the way back to, I remember, TI6, TI5 era, where people were developing the Magnus. Wings Gaming were a team that took this strat all the way to the grand finals. We're happy to play this Magnus with the Void, particularly on Shadow. This is a throwback for me, being back in Seattle, seeing this once more on the main stage here. We're going to see what Team Spirit can do to get to that late game once again against Gaimin, who have continually punished teams for the greed, for the slowness, for the willingness to go to 60 to 70 minutes. They just don't want to let you get there. But here they've gone for kind of a hybrid draft, right? Going for Morphling in their own hands on Dyrachyo, a hero he is perhaps more infamous than famous for.
Yeah,
in some sense.
Well, I mean, the right kind of performance on a TI final, that could change the entire narrative about his Morphling. He's going to try and do just that by taking down Yatoro's Faceless Void. But there's also some other notable heroes. I feel like we focused a lot on Yatoro in that last game for a good reason. He had a monster performance, but there's also some other big ones here for Team Spirit. I'm looking at that Mapojka Enchantress, man. I feel like this is Enchantress and Chens, they are really scary in this current meta, even if we don't see them all the time. I mean, we saw the way that Chen worked for Gaimin Gladiators, and Mapojka is going to try and make that Enchantress work for the laning phase.
Enchantress is a hero both these teams really highly value and contest. It's a hero that's been banned against Gaimin a lot, so they opted to take it away here. It's also a hero that can deal pretty well with Primal Beast in those mid games with the Enchant ruining his charge in. I don't know, when I saw that Ench come out, it gave them the tempo they needed with a Magnus opener to feel really good about it, so they just don't fall behind too much on the lanes. And a quick little body block to push it under the tower here to try and secure the equilibrium. Very heads-up play. Dyrachyo read it, got a block of his own, and it will end up outside the tower. So nice heads-up play by Dyrachyo to counteract that, as they're going to start 3 top. Maybe looking for a cheeky kill on the Furion, who's TP'd up here.
Yeah, that would actually be an interesting idea, but they quickly abandoned that. Celery waves goodbye to the Enchantress as Mapojka heads back down to that bottom lane, which is going to be Ace and Tofu in the Muerta plus Wraith King, the double undead hero against the Faceless Void of Yatoro. And then Enchantress.
A very deadly lane as well. We've seen a lot of like the Wraith King Dark Willow come back. That was a classic a couple TIs ago. Wraith King, Muerta equally as strong. You get the insta-stun into silence, into Deadshot, pushes you back in. Your attack speed so you can't fight. Skeletons are hitting you. Very high kill threat on this lane, and a lot of pushing power if you start to run away with it. So this is an off lane for Gaimin. They want to go very well. They want Ace to drive the tempo and the objective control of the game, which is something he didn't get to do last time because Team Spirit brought the gank parade to him, right? So that's a big question as well. Do Spirit decide to commit the same resources into shutting Ace down this time around? And does that just inadvertently free up more room for Dyrachyo on a hero that I feel like has a better time this game than the Gyro did in that last one? It's a stronger hero in the meta, and it is decent matchups, and yep, already on the board.
Yeah, you said this combo is deadly. Any sort of board position that can output some good damage off that Rayfire Blast. You gotta be careful if you're a support in lane. Gaimin Gladiators will find the opening kill.
And this early game is going to be a question for Gaimin in terms of how much they get out of it, because they have the Furion that can TP to accelerate the lane ganks. They have a Primal Beast who can just gobble up runes, gank side lane very early. He is the king of it. Maybe not a hero we've seen Quinn play a lot, but one he has practiced very well in pubs recently and is very comfortable on. So this could be an incredibly fast early game just in terms of the gank potential, not necessarily just taking your towers, which is also a reason if that Wraith King lane goes really well for Gaimin, it's a lane they can easily rotate to. Because again, the kill threat is so damn high.
Heal too much, and now they're going to turn back around with the Nature's Attendants leveled up. Ace will take a bit of damage as he heads back in, but Yatoro doesn't want to miss his CS. Right now, lanes are going pretty well for, despite that early first blood. We got the Pango taking the top spot on the CS chart. Nice dead shot.
Laurel can do this. It was kind of a quiet Pango game last time around, right? I think Quinn was struggling to find his openings. And this is a hero you can get to play your tempo game, to control the runes combat, where Quinn wants to go with the Primal Beast. You can definitely turn some of those ganks around. I think that's what Laurel's looking for, more than being the aggressor, right? I think him just going in these lanes is going to be difficult because you don't have a lot of damage flow, but if Gaimin overextend, dive you under one of these side lane tier 1s, that's something that Pango can come in with a counter gank and Thunder and turning things around, you're really happy with that type of gameplay here. Because again, you're farming it up. You got Magnus Faceless Void. You know Gaimin are going to go into you.
This is a hard duo to match up against. You throw that Inkswell on the Magnus. He pulls you closer with the Shockwave. You get hit by the stun, and then that stun leads into a free skewer back. So even underneath your tower, you are not safe.
And the Grimshark could be really nice this game as well. Just throwing it on these cores that want to jump in, get the extra, debuff them out, reset the fight or the primal. These types of interactions could help them take the team fights in the mid game when they're likely going to be behind a little bit in terms of this. Gaimin are pulling a decent position out in terms of the laning phase here. Doing pretty well on their cores in terms of CS.
You gave him the heartbeat. That's going to make a big difference in this bottom lane. Doesn't die now, but does some decent economic damage. He's got a small little health bear to work with too.
It's also just time. Yatoro gets to sit down here. There's a lane there eventually will kick him out. Quinn's amping up the pressure here. Has a little bit of an XP advantage, pushing this triple range closing. I mean, it's pretty rare you get 3 range creeps being pushed into the tower. Laura will clean it all up. No roam coming in early here. Just way too high on the HP to make it look enticing. Of course, the side lanes vital to your game plan. Still, he's just going to go for it.
Here comes the rotation, though. Mira gives him the Inkswell underneath the tower, but he stops him midway through the charge, and Quinn, caught underneath the tower, will die.
Sometimes greed is good, and sometimes you get punished for it. Mira happy to counter that. Push Laurel ahead in the XP. Now you're going to have a Rolling Thunder.
Oh, what a sprout! Collapse, cut down a tree, but he was still stuck on the corner there. Did have some stick charges to work with, though, and so he will survive for now. They wanted to be the fact that Mira had to TP into that mid lane, but couldn't quite finish the job.
It's a game about pressure. Every time one of these supports makes a move, you need to create the pressure somewhere else. The enemy just can't clump on you. Get the numbers. Yatoro gets put back into the silent.
Oh, he time walks up now. He's still kind of in a sticky spot here. Gaimin Gladiators are going to try and run him down, looking to throw the one grenade. Oh, he'll make the difference. He's going to show up with that Rolling Thunder. Do manage to finish him up with the 2 supports, but Laurel, he'll be collecting some heads here.
Even the Wolf hits in.
Stuck there on the corner, but that's okay. The Swashbuckle will finish the job.
A lot of XP going into the Pango and the Edge down here. Yatoro, a little sad he died there and doesn't get it for himself, but I mean, that's sometimes the life of a Faceless Void versus a lineup that is going to press you, is going to go for that kill. And if it was a lot cleaner, maybe Gaimin can just walk that off. Here they get the rotation in. So these Pangos having a terrific game off of that in the turnaround mid. Those are those counter turns that Laurel's looking for. Yep. Force the Raid King in, force this Morphling into an aggressive situation. Maybe Quinn dives you, and that's when you get the strike here. Arcane picked up for Quinn. This is a really nice rune on the hero.
Seems he pops in here to try and deal with Mira. The silence is going to last a while. Can he get it? Yes. Quinn, very fast with the trigger there. Does manage to get him. Collapse going to try and dissuade Quinn of that notion. And he does manage to do so successfully, keeping him off his support.
And quelling. Saving Mira at the end from the Sprout, so value pickup already begins. Arcane still in the bottle, so Quinn can still look for a rotation off this, and he probably wants to. I mean, his early game is getting a little slow here, and you have Threat on the sidelines, right? This is where the Primal Beast strikes really hard, really fast, gets momentum going for the team. That's the theoretical ideal. You just shove in mid, make the move. There's the rune. There's a Furion.
There's always the opportunity of the Celery to try and make a move, but I feel like the teams have been really good at protecting their Wisdom Runes against invasions, particularly against the Nature's Prophet. More times than not, it seems like Nature's Prophet tries to make that kind of move, he just walks into a trap.
Just a hard gamble. You use your teleport for that, you're dead on the map for 60 seconds. Your chances to get it should be minimum in the PI Grand Final, I would say.
Good D-ward there. Yeah. That'll help because Quinn wants to be able to make moves, particularly with this Arcane Rune, which he's going to put to use now. Caught him in Shield Crash. So that ability no longer there with the 2 support rotations. It's easy to kill Laurel.
Exactly what they're looking for. Combine the Calling Dead Shot with this Primal Beast. Anybody goes down to it at this point. This is where you want to ramp up the speed. Start getting the map in a position where you can just guarantee the power runes for Quinn and get the connections going. And hopefully lead to like jungle invasion, right? Because the one thing you have to think about with the Magnus is the stats. And if the carry just gets to sit in triangle and double ancients and clear through them at that point in time, the earlier you take down these tier 1s, the earlier you get aggressive obs out, the happier you're going to be when that period comes. Another power rune should be secure from Quinn here.
Oh, these runes are getting a little crazy. Oh, that skewer plays against Collapse as he does a ton of damage onto himself thanks to the trample from Quinn. Swapped out by his own Sprout, though. He's going to try and get to the other side of this cliff. Laurel does hop down to chase after him, though.
Laurel showing the power of a non-real hero in his hands as he will take that rune away from Quinn. No haste. I mean, that's one of those situations you almost rather take the haste rune. It's so damn good on your hero. Collapse will suicide himself to take Quinn out in the process.
Kind of have to be careful with those skewers against the Primal Beast. Kind of movement. That would be deadly.
Look at this, just a quick rotation of the supports. Powerful Enchantress, early creep, takes down 2/3 of this tier 1 mid.
Yeah.
Didn't even feel like that was a real move, but they still got a lot of this tier 1 tower damage out from it. Once again, it's Gaimin responding to some early objective pressure. The whole time this is happening, also space on the side lanes, which means the Toro got the catch up a bit. He's not the one getting ganked or killed by the calling here. Very happy with that. He's not able to force him off lane yet. However, Gaimin doing a bit of stacking of their own. Maybe that's something they took out of that game 1, right? Like, you go in game 1, you try and run Spirit over, and they run you over. Okay, this is not a team we're going to beat in 20 minutes. It's not a team we're going to beat in 25. Maybe we go back to some of our other tricks, other things up our sleeve. Efficiency on the map. Yeah, this is a team that is stacked their whole way through the season. Back now when it matters.
Particular strength of Western Europe in general, so those team matches throughout the year, Tacting was a big factor for all of those teams' skates. Another reincarnation here. It looks like Team Spirit will try and burn it away from it. The Skeletons will push back, though. The Brothers guys chased away.
Brother against brother here. Skeletons are better.
Right now, it's going to be Quinn trying to jump in, but immediately stopped by Laurel. Once again, with the counter initiation, Quinn's trying to get out of here, but he's going to be caught. The 8-12 plus the Silence is going to try and trample his way over the left-hand side. He is slowed down, pulled back in by Collapse, though. Oh, and Chronosphere actually locking away these two other cores right in front of the tower. Seller's trying to stop him now as they turn back around onto Ace, trying to finish him up. There goes that reincarnation. Horatio doesn't have much mana to work with, and on the fresh light, Ace is going to be pulled back underneath that tower again, just like Quinn. They're in trouble. Now Horatio's under this one as well, surrounded by 5 heroes. He's going to start desperately morphing into Shrink and try and wait for him over the left-hand side, but with all of this damage, he just cannot get far enough away. Gaimin Gladiators will lose all 3 of their cores, and that attempt to fight in bottom lane.
That is the danger of making an aggressive move into this Pangolier. Grimstroke, the turnaround potential is just so damn high, and time dilation absolutely ruined Horatio as he goes in that engagement, gets time dilated, can't do anything for the rest of the fight. And of course, Quickie ate the big bolts. Still trying to make something happen this early game with a very aggressive mid that can do it. He's just struggling. Heroes have been too tanky for him to bring down alone, and the combinations, they haven't been exactly on point for Gaimin. This will give him a really nice bump to Laurel, who is just feasting on these early game fights. It's going to be a very fast Pangolier defusal in this game. And these are some heroes that are susceptible to mana burn, right? You're loaded. Yeah. 2 strength cores and a Morphling that also doesn't like his mana getting burned with an early defusal. Active clearing some stacks, and net worth still looking pretty good for Gaimin, but the fights are just not going their way.
Particularly when you know the Wraith King wants to rush this Radiance as quick as possible, which means an Ag Shard, he really doesn't want to have to buy that until at least after the Radiance. There's definitely a timing here where this Pango could punish Ace heavily.
Especially since it's just done. This is 11:30 arcane boost defusal. This is crazy fast. In a game where they maybe expected Laurel to not have the freest time up against the Primal Beast with a Furion who can rotate.
They're supposed to shut him out early, win that lane, and then later on in the game, as a Primal Beast, you could just BKB and grab the Rolling Thunder ball and stop it immediately, right?
Look what's waiting for him. Some good old stacks for the mag lineup. This is another downside of Gaimin not securing those early team play wins. You can't fade enemy side of the map this early. Laurel's just going to clear through it all. Shield going to help him. He's so big right now. He's got a shield rune to boot. So they're going to be looking to take a fight. It's also going to be the blink timing for Collapse. He's going to finish this off the stack. Just rush it out here. Look for a big blink RP skewer on a core. Continue to slow the pace down here. They're going to be happy to use their ults for big core kills. So the question on Gaimin side is, what do you do when those ults aren't cooldown, right? How much can you get off the map? How much can you push the lanes and look for kills? Quinn once more looking for something to get his game going here. Just can't find anything.
Good read by Maposhka, dipping away into the trees there, out of sight from Quinn. That as a result, that's going to be yet another rotation that fails. One way or another, Gaimin Gladiators, whether it's running into a 5-stack of Team Spirits and they lose the fight, or the smoke's just not working out for them. So much of their early aggression with this Primal Beast has been completely stymied, and now Team Spirits are sitting in a pretty happy position, I would say. The net worth is dead even, but it does feel like Team Spirit have answered Gaimin Gladiators and all the moves they wanted to make early.
I mean, there's a lot of Magnus teams over the history of TI. I think all of them will say, if you are even at the 15-minute mark with a mag lineup, you're winning the game. Like, you're happy because you know this game is going to get extended. You're going to outrun the enemy. You're going to theory outscale them. Now, a lot can happen in those fights. Those lineup with Gaimin can scale very hard. You see Primal Beast go very deep. Later game one,
Optimization is call up silence.
Of course,
Human heroes.
that can also happen.
Yeah, this is the move the Gaimin Gladiators. They were trying to play off this, being able to get numbers moving, right? Like the Primal Beast and the Nature's Prophet offer so much mobility around the map. They should be able to outnumber Team Spirit and find openings like that.
It's what Zelda wants to do for sure. Every time you get one of these pickoffs with the Fury, you get the farm their side of the map, you get deep wards up, it's going to set up for the next play, and then your economy is just going to explode. And get some extra items on this Fury and you can control the fight. The Ag's very good this game with the Root Disarm, right? This is a great Fury on Ag's game. Yeah, the Nature's going to do some mad work here. If he can get anything else to help his team survive in the Chrono, in the RP, what's going to work effectively then? If he can just dump these waves in as well. Here, continue to play this game slow, continue to farm up Laurel with her power going to work. That is a success move for Gaimin in a period where Collapse didn't really find that opening with the Link. Settle for some farm.
Find it interesting to note there's just no hand of Midases in this game. Great King, Faceless Void, both heroes that have bought it throughout this tournament sometimes, but feels like as the tournament's gone on, particularly probably because the way the Gaimin Gladiators has stomped through some games, there are teams who've been a bit wary about picking up that greedy item.
Midas is a crunch. Midas is an item for the bottom 40. It's not really a grand finals item. You gotta, if you're worthy of a true pantheon, you don't need the extra TPM. You're going to collect it off your enemies here.
That is
Labs can do that. Still trying to find something with the Link. Maybe he's just happy empowering his other cores and letting them take the bulk of the net worth. Toro's still pretty much untouched during this period, just going Mask Madness, keep the Maelstrom, power on top of it. This Void is going to keep up and farm, even with a Radiant Skeleton being, am I allowed to say that? Farming up the entire map. And he will match him.
Oh, Laurel? Essentially there to grab him. Mira can stop some of this though. Goes out of silence, aims well. Oh, so much burst damage though. Celery hit him big with that one. He got up the shield crash though. No way. Those shields are keeping him alive. They need a bit more damage, but now he's teaming away. Goodbye. 6 points. Oh no. Gaimin Gladiators gotta feel so bad about that. A pickup on Laurel, the highest net worth in this game, would have been a dream opening for them. And that was one of the few openings he'll have against this guy because he is closing in on the Lincolns fast.
It's not crisp enough. Laurel walks it off. I think he even misclicked his crossbow there.
Roxio on the edge of the Chronosphere. Now that's an idea. Team Spirit said, oh, used all those resources bottom lane, huh? It'd be a shame if your carry got picked up, wouldn't it?
A heavy cost indeed to missing this gank. Laurel just plays with his food, and they're going to put those ults to use on Dyrachio every time. Anytime you can just collect them orphan in this game, you're super happy about it. Toro will just continue to farm. Says, give me the freebie and back to the jungle. It's coming down to ace right now, right? I mean, it feels like it comes down to ace in a lot of games play.
Yeah.
Right now, he's the strongest hero on the map. He can create the pressure. He can do things like this where he just solo create an opportunity.
I guess.
They're going to find both supports.
Ace
will walk it off.
Yeah, he's got to back away. He showed so many heroes up there killing Mapochka earlier. Mapochka, again, continuing to play very aggressively. I mean, the Tree Protector, he was on Gaimin Gladiator side of the map all the time because he's invisible, but this Enchantress seems to have a similar game plan. He's going to be playing up in Gaimin Gladiator's face, and that does, even if it costs him a death every once in a while, it does create information and space for his cores.
Particularly when the Chrono and the RP are down.
Yeah.
This is where Gaimin can pretty much run the game of the map, choose which objective they want, and claim for free. There's no way you're fighting them without those big ults off cooldown. Without Collapse being stronger, Skewer on Skewer play. You're coming with the
Skewer up into the TP point from Quinn. collapse. As long as he keeps the damage on him, he's not going to be able to blink away, and Quinn will finish the job. Great move from Dyrachyo. Those are the kind of plays you need to see here. You want to be able to take down the best team at this tournament. You need to be able to pull off some solo moves like that.
Create the pressure that's going to create openings elsewhere. And suddenly Dyrachyo, this stolen empower is pretty damn nice. He can throw it on the raking, he can throw it on the Primal, especially bonus damage on Primal. So he's going to be very happy with that. And that's something we can see in a lot of these fights. It's probably going to be the best skill for Dyrachyo out inside of maybe time dilation thrown back against Team Spirit, or just creating his own group stroke combination.
Precious moments.
These are good working combos. The fights and the team trying to stick with the pace.
Instantly silenced and a beautiful soul bite, and now Ink swelled up, pinball coming through, straight to the heart of Gaimin Gladiators. Dyrachyo's already burned out most of his mana, pops his wand, but Dyrachyo, he needs to be able to get away from this ball, and Yatoro, he's been burned out, no chance there. Gaimin Gladiators still have a chance, though, to be able to fight back around Ace and his Radiant, but without their carry, it's not looking great, as Ace is going to be burned out of his first life. And they fight around the second one. Quinn sticking around, they certainly don't want to be giving up Ace like this. Here's shot back.
Coming up in 2 seconds here. Yeah, Yatoro says, my cooldown's back. Just not enough reach.
Not necessary, really, for Team Spirit, right? No reason to give them an opportunity like that. You can stretch out, claim all of this map space you just fought for, and farm away.
I do think this late game is not 100%. We're talking about Mag Void. It is very powerful. You're going to get some pickoffs like this for sure, and then power is going to clean up the map. But there's like some weird things that can happen with the Raid King Ags. There's some weird things that happen if Dyrachyo gets a free angle in the fight. Clean up the backline with Warpling first, the power himself, or short throw on himself.
Yeah. It's going to be tier 1 down in the bottom lane as Laurel marches forward confidently with his Linkens, because what's really going to catch him? It feels like he's most of the time going to have a chance to be able to escape if Gaimin Gladiators ever try and jump him here.
That's a really fast Linkens as well. This is Mag Pen going into prime. Take a hero that is not afraid to fight off cool.
They're really going to farm the Tormentor right in front of Gaimin Gladiators' base? That is crazy, but they just did it. 4 heroes, that's all they needed. Meanwhile, Celery being gone on by Yatoro. Just gets a bit of a poke, gets a reaction out of Gaimin Gladiators. Ace will try and punish him, but
there's no follow-up.
Yeah, he needs a lot more. Celery's going to try and chase up. Teammates are coming in here, tries to block him out with the Sprout, but Yatoro is running free. Dyrachyo chases after him, hits him with the time dilation, but it is a very good doing from Dyrachyo, but he gets it. He gets that kill, though, turns back around on the collapse. Oh, RP'd right in front of that tier 2, but silenced up just in the nick of time before his Skewer comes through.
He wants more.
Yeah, he does. He sees the opportunity. What a beautiful entrance from Dyrachyo into this game.
That is the power of stolen time dilation plus the time walk, right? Infinite chase potential. Suddenly, Faceless Void can't do the same back, and Dyrachyo says, 2 can play at that game, Yatoro. I can get aggressive too and make it work. Just creates an opening out of nothing there off a chase that felt, like what is Ace doing here? He's wasting his time? Not at all. Everything coming together, going to propel Celery up that board as well. Imagine you have that Ags Wrath of Nature here, right? Suddenly chases like this become a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Yatoro, he's just still looking for that big Dispel Life. His choice will be Manta first over the BKB, but until that's out, Dyrachyo has a decent opening in these fights, and you got the RP.
Yeah, it actually just leads Gaimin Gladiators into more opportunities, perhaps.
That Ags. It is for Celery if you can fly it out. That's something that can bounce through, lock these heroes down, create more openings for Raid King time to get in there and set up that front line. Second Tormentor will go Spirit's way with a shard.
So now they've got shard on both of their supports. That's pretty funny. I think that the Mira 1 Broom Stroke, that's so much better for them. Hard Dispel to be able to help save this angle or this phase of void when they need it most. But maybe there's just too much firepower some of these times. You can see from Gaimin Gladiators when their cores start linking up, and they're picking up the pace now. Dyrachyo, he's just swarming forward, seeing if there's anybody else to be able to catch deep on Team Spirit's side of the map. And this is the part where Team Spirit is able to slow down the game. Momentum is beginning to play against them.
This is where the map becomes difficult. You have Skeleton coming in one wave, you have Wrath of Nature pushing all the lanes. The Warplane's not afraid to show right now. He has Manta Lucius on top of it. And the Primal, he's in the fog. It creates a scary situation with the pickoff potential. They're just getting more information than Team Spirit right now. There are still very deep server woods that have Potion got out, but you can't really get there and use them. They're not scouting anything right now as they're looking on top of him.
That shard is pretty helpful when it comes to the Sprouts, but may not save him from this. He's going to be surrounded. He'll create a little bit more time, a little bit more space. In fact, he's going to go for the TP away, and there it is. Okay, they do manage to stop that. That would have burdened Gaimin Gladiators a lot if they let him get away from that.
Solid space, sure is what he'll say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time to try and get to the Dispel item on Yatoro. Collapse will finish. You can't really deal with time dilation in the fight if it comes out. It's a very aggressive item. You can lock people down, guarantee the skewer better. If the fight starts on him, it could backfire. Quinn's still working towards that heart. So, Gaimin looking for the next big damage items that are going to let them ramp this game up. And of course, Ace still sitting top and pretty here. He's the big objective driver, so if he decides that they need to force tier 2, go for Roshan, where they want to fight how, it's up to Ace right now as he is the front line. Toro calling for a smoke, looking for some kind of pickoff here.
They get the right kind of opening, they could translate this into a quick roach take.
Exactly. They're looking at the corner of the map, so anybody that dives down here, Yatoro's instantly going to go in the pit. He might just do it anyway.
Yeah. Gaimin Gladiators, they look inside, see if it's actually Gaimin who's taking that Roshan. That's going to be pretty tough to deal with you, Toro. With that shard jumping around with Inkswell on top of him, so even if you catch him midway through his time walk and stop him from leaping back into play, there is that Dispel that can come out.
That's why you want to create a situation where you have to choose between chronoing the front line in the Heart Primal or, the Wraith King with 2 lives,
or if they make this move fast enough, it could be massive for Gaimin Gladiators. They have a double damage, 80 more Flank's bottle. Taking into this fight in time, Team Spirit may get wiped and lose the Roshan fight, and they are not doing this fast enough. Gaimin Gladiators are going to get here, and it looks like Team Spirit made the right read. They're going to smoke, backing themselves away, see if they can find the opening on Gaimin Gladiators. Instead, it's the war. On the high ground, BKB immediately goes out. Now he has to turn and chase, but he's not going to be close enough. Team Spirit got something big out of him, but they do it all. That's going to be able to hit all those heroes. The RP took that going down the 2 heroes. They jumped into the RP. He's going to have to do all the damage from here on out, but the Rolling Thunder is dangerous. It slows him down with the matches, and the Rolling Thunder hits, and there's no chance. And now they leave Quinn. Yeah, trap him inside that Chronosphere. His BKB is gone. Get the rest. Oh, it's Gaimin Gladiators who had an opportunity there to be able to upset. But now, just what they feared the most, which was losing a fight and giving the Roshan to Team Spirit, that may have just occurred.
It's going to switch the sides, so they're going to have to run up top. They might not have enough time before Gaimin to respond. I mean, you got to remember, they can TP to this dire outpost up here as well if they still have them on cooldown. But damn, what a heads-up RP from Collapse. That is a team fight salvaging RP as the Wrath of Nature just got them all on the backside, and Dilation was thrown out early here. So right there, it goes on Quinn, but that opens the fight for Dyrachyo by a decent margin. I don't know. I mean, you just RP'd him. It's no way around it.
Yeah, they only had one stun to work with. Dyrachyo just makes a complete misread of the situation there.
And he thought the stun was going to latch and be longer, but there's a lot of bailout here. And the second that goes wrong on the Morphling, this fight's just completely over. Toro's going to clean house. You cannot give too many of these openings. The upside, though, like we said, is Roshan switch sides. The respawn timers were not too long here, so Dire side going to work for Gaimin as they come back into this map and stall out the Roche a second time. I think you just man up for it here because you know RP and Chrono are on cooldown.
Yeah, 100%. And Team Spirit, I mean, it would be a pretty bold move to try and take this fight without their ultimates.
No, they're just looking for the pickoff. Not going to find it, clear the wave, but this contest, it's all on Laurel with the Rolling Thunder. Maybe they can take the fight afterwards.
He's thinking about going in with this Inkswell. He tries to jump in, see if they can get the skewer pickoff. No such luck. Gaimin Gladiators retreat very defensively after claiming that Aegis. They know Team Spirit are bold enough to make a move like that. They respect it. They'll back away. Dyrachyo will try and get his farm into the Silver Edge, which is a great way to be able to find some of those backline heroes. I mean, I think that Grimstroke is a big problem for them.
It is. The Link and the Dispel off the Swell are both really nice here, especially when you just throw the Cell onto the Faceless Void or the Magnus. They get a free jump, and if they get stunned, you just bail them out, right? I think we're going to see that the whole game. It's going to make sure that both Collapse and Thor can hold their BKB or the Mantha for as long as they want here, and Mira can bail them out. Of course, you can also just throw it on the Pango and let them roll in.
Yeah, speaking of Tango, his item timing was definitely delayed quite a bit, but he's finally going to get there. He got that Lincoln's a while ago, but the Aghanim Scepter that he was looking for next will finally be complete.
Hurricane Pike from Aposhka, so the damage starting to heat up here for Spirit as they're going to spread it across 4 effective cores going into this late game. That is why they love the Enchantress. Aposhka is going to start to cause his own mischief in the fight. And that pushes the question back to Gaimin in terms of how are you scaling this game, right? Because right now you have an Aegis, you have a Morphling pushing towards Silver Edge. He's just hit his BKB timing here. And the heart is a couple hundred off from Quinn, so you have some really strong fighting items coming out all in the same interval here for Gaimin. You would really like a good team fight out of this, especially if the Chrono, the RP gets wasted, or if you trade an Aegis for it. You might be okay with that in the long run. You can at least find something on the backside. But right now, you're looking at Yatoro. He has a Mantha. That's it. He did not go for BKB on the Faceless Void this game. He's just hiking up the damage here, abusing the fact he has a power. Going to go for a later Lincoln Sphere. It will be collapsed with that BKB. It's a question of who you want to start. Maybe the Silver Edge is going to give Dyrachyo the option to put his aggression to use and just start on a support, start on a core, give the vision for a rating jump. Vision means everything here. Gladiators as they try and take these next fight.
Yeah, which means Poposhka is a particular nuisance to them. As he once again leads forward, just using the creep to be able to find information. They got the heart rate. Skewered back. Now he does have BKB locked down by the RP, but maybe the damage is going to be enough. It's going to be close call. Quinn starts walking away. Celery's going to jump in with the Wrath of Nature. Soon cut out. He tries to use the Overseal Token to get away from the Rolling Thunder while they jump forward on Dyrachyo. They want to get something out of this. They see an opportunity, surely, but they couldn't actually grab anybody, just lacking the disables.
Hurricane posing problems for Dyrachyo as well. You just can't see anything to hit. Spirit able to disengage after that Wrath of Nature looted them all, which means Yatoro wants to go back.
He's got an opening here. Looks for it with the Chronosphere. They were so grouped up on Gaimin Gladiators, but he doesn't have the vision. He's now been grabbed. They actually have that AoE. The calling goes out. He's on the other side. He actually gets away. Thanks well. Time walk undoes so much of the damage. And now Gaimin Gladiators have to play it a little bit slow. Have to respect that Soulbind. They cleanse themselves of the ghost. That silence is now gone. The Soulbind is away. Yatoro, he's still waiting for his opportunity to get that call. Got 3. Got 2, 3. 1 in the back, 2 in the front. That's going to be the Aegis. Down for the Morphling at second line for both him and Ace, though. Can Yatoro fight through this one? Is he going to be able to get away? The shot got a room. The Entangle as well. That's enough. They bring down the carry. Now for the rest. Team Spirit. Playing back into this one, the Envy thinks well. Now it's Europe blocking them together. Oh, they can fight this one out. Dyrachyo waiting for it's over, trying to separate from his team a little bit, make sure this rock level doesn't absolutely decimate them like it does Tofu. Fight the back lines, Ace trying to chase down the rock wall, helping him out, but Dyrachyo dies. And Snarl, he does manage to finish him up just on the very tip. Just enough to be able to get that kill before he falls. Collapse tries to skewer away, but locked out by Quinn in the end.
Cannot escape the inevitable, which is just too many lives on the side of Gaimin. A buyback from Celery gets another Wrath of Nature through. That fight lasted so damn long. And of course, you had the Aegis on Dyrachyo, the Reincarn on Ace, and Quinn just abusing this heart region on the backside of that fight. The Chrono was absolutely beautiful.
Did you say buyback on Celery?
Lives.
3 lives. Gaimin Gladiators just brought more numbers than Team Spirit could possibly even dream of.
It's like an 8 on 5 here, right?
Yeah.
So you kill 3 or 2.5 of the Chrono, you're going to take Ace on the other side. And they're all coming back. I mean, that's exactly what you want to use this Aegis and Reincarnation for. Create a situation where you set the fight up towards the end, the ults are on cooldown, and you just get an even man fight. And that is when Dyrachyo can start to clean house. This Morphling, he has some serious DPS. The Tamor, though, Team Swell's a problem. They were catching so many heroes. Collapse gets to survive the entire fight, just right-clicking people the entire time. I thought Bar was maybe going to carry the end of this. Tango is doing so much DPS.
Yeah. Him and Collapse, I think, saved so much of this fight because if Dyrachyo managed to live through it, then who knows how much damage they do while Team Spirit is dead. But the fact that Morphling is gone, there goes a decent amount of their pushing power and threat for the high ground. Instead, it's the Furion and the Skeletons that push out.
It'll be Ace who collects it. This Raid King is just turning into a straight carry right now. This is not even a bad carry matchup versus the Faceless Void. Yeah. You have help to do it. It's just going to be an AC for Ace here. Shard to boot, so you cannot mana burn him out. And he's going to be a problem. He's going to deal enough damage, great enough threat that you're going to have to think about it first, or at least maybe skewer him in deep, take him out for free. And think about when you commit the Chrono or the RP, because it's not so straightforward anymore. You can play off some Pangolier pokes, but damage to the front line is coming through for Gaimin right now. And a lot of it does come down to Darachu. How does he find the angle into the fight? Who does he start on? Does he get caught in those ultimates? Because this Morphling is still incredibly susceptible. The time dilation post-Manta is susceptible to just getting ulted without that Morph going out. If that happens, so much of your DPS goes out the window. Suddenly that long fight is no longer favorable for you.
It's so wild to me how much Yutoro trusts his team in this situation. I feel like so many other carries, especially carries in this tournament, would have gone for a BKB to help protect themselves, but he seems to just fully trust that Mira is going to be able to back him up, right?
I mean, you think Yutoro, God, is going to buy a BKB. Haven't been watching this man.
He's going to go for Scotty up next, which is going to make him very tanky. Gaimin Gladiators may not let him get to this point. Smoked for very, very far forward here.
That Radiance turned off for Ace. They're not showing too much on these waves.
They wanted something so badly out of that. They used double scans to try and find some sort of pickoff, but they're left with nothing. Team Spirit holding around their tier 2.
I saw something on that ward. They'll counter smoke it instead. They're missing a Scotty from Yutoro. Big item versus Morphling is happy to fight without it. Treants, see nothing. How closely were you looking at the body blocks here? Aegis will depend on it as they will bypass the vision mechanisms. Level 20 for Yutoro, who has chrono attack speed here, plus this full Mjolnir. You get caught in this chrono, it's a very different story than the last fight. How much more you need to give up right now?
Charge, they spawn Celery. Chronosphere on the 2 of them. So he's going to bring down the support first. Nice use of the dead shot there. That'll make sure Ace doesn't get punished too much. But Chronosphere for a 5 position. I don't think Gaimin Gladiators mind that too much, as long as they don't lose control of the Roshan pit during this window.
The upside is that buyback's still on cooldown for Celery. So they know they're getting the 4v5 out of that if they take down the Fury on first. There's no way you're competing with a Wraith King there, and Dead Shot will prevent it anyway. Quick pick off for Yutoro, more gold into his pocket, and finish up the Scotty.
Now, what about this next part of this matchup? The Wraith King versus the Basis Void, especially this Wraith King off lane, always going to be going the Aghanim Scepter at some point in time. That Aghanim Scepter is pretty interesting against the burst that Yutoro wants to be able to deploy, right? He wants to Chronosphere, make sure that there's one hero, or maybe two, that gets no impact in the fight, just like it looks like Quinn. Oh, he barely gets off that, but he is going to be slowed down as soon as the BKB is worn away. The time dilation takes into play, and yeah, Team Spirit has got him.
Just good vision on the map, lets it set up for this kill. And just as he was pushing towards that Aghanim Scepter, he's talking about the Wraith King as the Primal Axe will also play a big part in these fights, just breaking these heroes down, removing some of the passes, letting them get easy kills on things like the Enchantress, removing some of the time lock from the Faceless Void. Any extra hit you can gain an advantage for Darachu in these man fights is going to be nice. But, I mean, the Wraith King Axe is great versus the bolts. It's just a question of can you do anything with like the fact that you have afterwards, right? Darachu's going to man up.
They're going to jump on to the Faceless Void, see if they can work it down. Once again, there's the Inkswell Harvest spell, and attempt, collapse, turns around, gets that RP on the 2 of them, blocking down Darachu and finishing him off, and now Ace is going to come back into this with not much support. With no Quinn, they knew they had the numbers advantage, and they take the fight to Gaimin Gladiators no matter the cost. Gets to jump away, more staff helps him out, but it's not far enough. There is nowhere you can go. The collapse and Yutoro cannot follow.
That is a very bold move. Your Primal is steady. So much of your damage, so much of your burst damage. I mean, again, they're very close to bursting Yutoro, but the man knows his limits. Helmet to the helmet. Yeah.
A shot from downtown claims the life of Yutoro.
The gist is I cast or curse the hell out of him. He gets shot down. Well, the man knows his limits, but I guess not every limit in Dota. The Tormentors are new, we'll cut him some slack, but what a find from Tofu. He claims it all there, and now the Tormentors did go to Radiant, so they get the kill on Yutoro. Collapse gets the shard. That's a 1,500 gold kill.
Yeah, that's the final shard, by the way. Team Spirit, 36 minutes in, have all the shards for their team because they've claimed every single Tormentor. This is crazy.
Of course. Chrono was off cooldown, so you're gonna have some downtime for Yutoro where you would have liked to have been up on the map and used it. I'm surprised it bursted bullseye. He must have like time lock hit the Tormentor. I mean, at least he can laugh it off here because there's nothing else you can do.
Back in the game though, they still don't have Ace. They're still looking forward with this smoke. They're hesitant
out in the world.
Yeah, this is, I'm surprised Gaimin Gladiators are surprised that they're even out here. Winter to hell, just wants to put him on high ground. Oh, Quinn, he doesn't have a TP. Where are you? Quinn, he's going to be able to get a force out down to the low ground, but that was an opportunity to get the pick up, and instead it's Hell opportunity. The first one down. Quinn. He has BKB. Can he get it off? No, too many stuns.
This damage is ramped up so damn fast.
Oh, the left got him on the ink swell.
Toro says you had your fun, you had your cliff walk, but I'm here to clean it up.
And Ace trying to get away desperately. Blink is up. He will get out. Yes. Oh, I got a scan on him.
Yeah, turn that radiance off, son. Get the hell out of
You
here.
gotta hide. You gotta hide. You can't be bumping right now. There's that shard. Collapse pulls him back in a little bit. No harpoon just yet, though. So he couldn't get him any further.
Yatoro knows what he wants right now, and that is an Aegis. That is a Roshan fight that Gaimin could have just committed to. It's also a fight that 30 seconds of it had no Yatoro. They couldn't find anything. They found an edge off a double dive between the Morphling and the Primal Beast, and that's it. Team Spirit is way too good at kiting these fights out, not giving you an opening. That Hurricane fight did some serious work. Sent Quinn back to NA with his pal RTZ stuck up there. But what else are you supposed to do? You have to find the openings. You have to dive. You only have 20 seconds without Yatoro. Got to run your way. Now it's going to be an Aegis into his pocket. A cheese on the back, and I guess everybody can buy BKB at some point. It'll be his next item here at last to seal the deal.
He really wanted to save that double damage rune for Laurel or for Yatoro, but Voltrian will deny them that opportunity. Still, though, Team Spirit got to feel very good about this next 4 minutes. We have a lot of team fights played with the next one. He's already been very aggressive, beating a lot of the charges for Team Spirit, getting information in the glass to follow it up. In the second life, I feel like there is nothing to stop this match. So,
you get caught in the corner, you're gone. Yeah, that's it. Even if you're morphing, I mean, who cares, right? The second you come out, you're basically dead. Zags from Celery can only do so much. And suddenly the lanes are not getting pushed in as deep as they once were because some power is just going to work on the scores. They're just mopping it up. At this point, the skeletons and the trees are just extra gold into their pocket. We're looking at 440 CS for Yatoro right now. Cleaning up these lanes. 500 for Laurel, by the way, who's been swashbuckling what feels like the entire map. Still been a tremendous game here on the Pangolier. Look at the difference in the last two. That is what Empower does. That's what an early Master Madness does. Also, all these summons going down the lanes. It's inflated a bit, but extra gold. Now, Miro with an Axe. This is a great Dark Portrait game, right? These soul lines have been landing. There's not a lot to block them. You get the Raid King, you get that aura going back. It's a great illusion. You get the Morphling, you're going to clear house on the back line. So suddenly, the scale from Team Spirit is starting to pick up the pace on their support. Some scary ones.
RP straight up the top lane. He got caught. Trying to hit that tier 2. You can get nothing for free against Team Spirit. Collapse denies Duraccio that opportunity. Duraccio compliments on the initiation, but the damage is done. Gaimin Gladiators, without their carry for 70 seconds, there's going to be some serious damage come their way.
That just feels like a move it's based on pressure, right? They feel like this game is looking away from them. They feel like the scale is going to be insurmountable. Duraccio trying to make something happen on the map and find a tier 2. Instead, he will pay the price only for an RP in exchange, which is going to be up pretty much when he's back up. How much do you want to push with this Aegis right now? Level 25 on the Faceless Void already. He already has the backtrack talent. Just going to make that burst even harder. Yatoro says, this is enough farming. I want to end this game. I want to end it now. How much do you have to take the fight on your high ground?
Look at them. They're just trying to catch whatever they can in the side lanes because, well, you don't have a carry, so there's not much point acting like you're going to defend this mid lane.
You have to use Ace's strength. You have to find a way to use his Raid King Axe and the Radiant Burn. Get something going in the fight over the long duration. That's where the Pangolier shines. I mean, Laurel hasn't even had to jump in aggressively yet. He's just playing behind his other cores. Yep. You have 3 lane of racks here. They're going to go for number 2. Duraccio, 3 seconds on the spawn. Butterfly completed for Yatoro now. No MKB in sight. You're going to have to do this the hard way. Just charge in and hope it goes your direction.
Checking it out. Steelers TPing in. Toro with the Lincolns. Got an extra life. He's got a BKB in his backpack for that second life. And they've got an opportunity for collapse. Old Celery out of position. Duraccio going to try and use that basic void form to be able to help out, but the corner here goes to work. The old Scepter not actually grabbing the room. Almost still out, but he finishes off the Morphling so easily. Now the RP against the other 2 cores. Team Spirit so clean. The extra ghosts come out from the Raid King, but he doesn't really do anything. Ace just pops BKB on the second life. They do get another pick here on his Celery. He tries to jump forward. They've got nothing left of the tanks on Gaimin. Gladiators, they are all going to fall. They're going to throw their damage around. The Chief's actually getting popped. His collapse got a little bit low, but into the south wall goes. A rampage, maybe a double. No, someone's going to deny him that. They're going to call the GG. And let's pull back in.
No, this one is
a second rampage to finally close it up.
I mean, why not add to his total, right? This is the player with the most rampages in a single TI run in history. He will add some more to the stat page here as Jatoro just mops him up at the end with way too much damage.